Education is the cornerstone of societal progress, empowering individuals with knowledge, critical thinking skills, and the ability to effect change in the world. It serves as a catalyst for personal development, unlocking opportunities, broadening perspectives, and of course, fostering lifelong learning. Education is indeed the key to success, as it allows us the ability to see the world in different ways and better understand it. Thank you so much for joining us on this Tuesday edition of Jamaica Magazine. I'm Adrian Atkinson. We'll be right back after the news.
Calling all creators, join the JIS Creators Challenge.
We want to see your unique perspective on why you love Jamaica.
Whether it's through a Jamaican adventure, arts and craftsmanship, or Jamaican cuisine.
A party lifestyle or a celebration of our Otamaniwan people culture.
Unleash your creativity in a video 1 minute or less, showcasing why you love Jamaica.
Follow us on all our platforms for more info on how to enter and prizes to be won. Stay tuned!
Good day, I'm Theodore Henry, and this is your JIS News for Tuesday, March 12, 2024. CARICOM heads of government have agreed on the establishment of a 9-member transitional presidential council to oversee the peaceful transition of power in Haiti. The decision was made at yesterday's high-level CARICOM meeting on Haiti, hosted by Prime Minister Andrew Holness. It also included Canada, France, Brazil, Mexico, the United States, and the United Nations. The establishment of the Transitional Presidential Council was further made on the backdrop of the resignation of Prime Minister Ariel Henry. CARICOM Chairman Mohamed Irfan Ali says the council will swiftly select an interim Prime Minister.
The Transitional Presidential Council will, together with the interim Prime Minister, appoint an inclusive Council of Ministers. The Transitional Presidential Council will hold the relevant and possible powers of the Haitian presidency during the transition period until an elected government is established.
Other responsibilities of the Council will include co-signing orders and decrees regarding the agendas of the Council of Ministers, setting essential criteria for the selection and establishment of an impartial provisional electoral council. The body will also facilitate a peaceful transition, the continuity of governance, and establishment of a national security council. It will further ensure collaboration with all members of the international community for the accelerated deployment of the multinational support mission authorized by the UN.
It is agreed that implementation of these measures will be concluded in parallel. The parties also make specific individual commitments regarding principles of inclusion, integrity, restoration of peace, and orderly transition of power. These shared and individual commitments can represent important steps towards facilitating increased humanitarian access to help ease the suffering of the Haitian people. The international community stands ready to partner with Haiti to achieve these goals. Haitian participants must now fully implement their commitments. With a framework in place that illuminates a path forward, it is incumbent upon all Haitians to give the agreement a chance to work.
Meanwhile, the United States government is providing an additional $100 million to assist the United Nations UN multinational force mission to Haiti to restore stability to the country. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken says the total American support for the mission will now move to $300 million. He made the announcement at the CARICOM Heads of Government high-level meeting yesterday.
I'm also announcing additional humanitarian assistance for the people of Haiti, $33 million to further support their health and food security.
The Secretary of State says the U.S. is in full support of a Haitian-led effort to get the country back to a path of stability and growth, with neighboring countries providing critical assistance. He adds that the joint proposal by CARICOM and Haitian stakeholders to expedite a political transition in Haiti has the backing of the U.S.
We support the plan to create a broad-based, inclusive, independent presidential college that would, in particular, first take concrete steps to meet the immediate needs of the Haitian people. Second, enable the swift deployment of the multinational security support mission. And third, through that deployment, through a reinforced Haitian National Police, create the security conditions that are necessary to hold free and fair elections, to allow humanitarian assistance to get to people who need it, and to help put Haiti back on a path to economic opportunity and growth.
Much of the Haitian capital of Port-au-Prince has been taken over by gangs, with CARICOM playing a lead role in restoring functioning institutions in the country. Still on Haiti, Prime Minister Andrew Holness has reaffirmed Jamaica's commitment to the Haitian cause and has lauded the region's commitment to facilitating solutions.
We must resolve to end this state of play and by our actions provide hope for Haitians that this time there will be a positive outcome and things will indeed get better.
Prime Minister Holness says the unrest in Haiti is of deep concern, and both the international and CARICOM communities have intensified engagements in recent weeks.
Strong and decisive action owned by the people of Haiti must be taken to stem the sea of lawlessness and hopelessness before it is too late. We are deeply distressed that it is already too late for too many who have lost far too much at the hands of criminal gangs. The fear of the situation in Haiti worsening to become a civil war is now a real one. We're all agreed that this cannot be allowed to happen, not in our hemisphere, with our long-standing democratic tradition and reputation as a zone of peace.
According to Mr. Holness, the people of Haiti need and deserve nothing less than safety, freedom, and prosperity, which is the promise of its long-achieved independence. And finally, the International Monetary Fund, IMF, says it welcomes Jamaica's strong policy framework and institutional reforms. According to the fund, these reforms have led to substantial improvements in public debt, international reserves, and macroeconomic stability. These measures, the IMF says, have supported a post-pandemic rebound in growth alongside declining inflation and unemployment. Noting the strong program performance, the IMF says it supports the completion of the second reviews of the Precautionary and Liquidity Line, PLL, and the Resilience and Sustainability Facility, RSF arrangements and associated decisions. The fund agrees that Jamaica continues to meet the PLL qualification criteria, adding that it supports the country's ambitious reforms to unlock growth potential and strengthen resilience to shocks. The IMF says its directors concur that a data-dependent monetary policy stance is warranted, given upside risks to inflation stemming from demand pressures, tight labor markets, and deepening geoeconomic fragmentation. It has commended the Jamaican authorities' continued progress in reducing public debt through prudent fiscal policies and proactive debt management. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Theodore Henry. Thanks for watching.
Have you heard? Starting April 1, 2024, the JUTC fares will drop by 50%. And here's your key. To enjoy these savings, you'll need the JUTC Smarter Card. The JUTC fares come April 1, 2024 will be as follows. Regular fare, $50, children's fare, $20, and the fare for pensioners, $25. But wait, there's more. New and existing cardholders will benefit from an additional 3 free rides. Ready to hop on board? Swing by the Halfway Tree Transport Center, JUTC's downtown hub, or the Greater Portmore office to obtain or replace your Smarter Card. Just bring your ID, birth certificate, and the cash to load onto your Smarter Card. Don't miss out on this opportunity. Sign up today and secure your Smarter Card.
Entrepreneurship is an essential driver of economic growth and prosperity.
That's Prime Minister Andrew Holness last week endorsing the rollout of the Amber UTech Launchpad, which is providing support to 100 technology-based startup entrepreneurs.
This is such an important part of increasing not just productivity, but just increasing our general output. We need new businesses in our economy.
The partnership between the Amber Group and University of Technology UTech will provide incubator services such as financing, training, access to software, and other resources. The Amber UTech Launchpad will ignite tech-focused ideas that are relevant to Jamaica's development agenda and stimulate job creation. This aligns with the Prime Minister's renewed call for increased productivity by Jamaica's labor force to further boost and sustain the country's economic growth.
Any increase we're going to have in the government's revenues, in what we are able to spend, it must now come from productivity. All the wishes that we have, all the desires that we have, all our ambitions, it comes from what we are able to produce.
Mr. Holness insists that a strong performing economy will enable the government to undertake critical projects and programs that redound to the benefit of all Jamaicans. Prime Minister Holness also took time out to meet with members of the Nurses Association of Jamaica. The occasion was the presentation of laptops to the association. Mr. Holness applauded the nurses for their dedication to service and for their commitment to continue offering that service here in Jamaica.
We are very, very grateful, and we recognize and respect the fact that they continue to work in our healthcare system, despite the challenges. But we should also recognize that there has been significant improvement in general compensation in the system.
Mr. Holness reminded the essential workers that anomalies in the compensation review process are still being reviewed.
I'm hopeful that our public sector workers, particularly like our nurses in our health system and the other workers who are so important to the growth of the country, that we recognize that this massive adjustment has been made, that if we stay the course, if we put in the productivity, if we match the wage with productivity, our economy will grow, and then we will be able to do even greater.
As the end of the 2023-24 financial year approaches, Prime Minister Andrew Holness met with several agencies. He was updated on achievements to date and projects to be undertaken in the new fiscal year. The agencies include the Development Bank of Jamaica, DBJ, and the National Spatial Data Division. Meetings also continued with the National Water Commission and the National Environment and Planning Agency, NEPA. Closing out the agenda last week for Prime Minister Andrew Holness was a courtesy call by the newly appointed Ethiopian Orthodox Archimandrite Abba Samuels. And that's it for Jamaica House Weekly. Be sure to join us next time for more of the news stories coming out of the office of the Prime Minister.
We are hoping that the time will come to be able to track these guards.
Hello, the house are burned down.
And punish those who are doing this.
All too frequently, a unit is unavailable for an actual fire emergency, merely because it is responding to a false alarm.
And it results in most instances to a waste of resources that could be used for more productive purposes. So I want to encourage members of the public to desist from this practice. We tend to see a spike in false alarm calls during the summer when the kids are home. Because they are home, they have their cell phone and they see it as fun to dial whether 110 or 119 to say that there's a fire somewhere. So I want to encourage parents to pay attention to that as well.
In Jamaica, tertiary education has been undergoing a transformative shift, focusing on modernization and inclusivity. Let's see how this evolution reflects the country's commitment to fostering higher education.
This is the journey of Jamaica's education story since 1962. The island's education sector was built on the colonial British system. Access before 1962 was linked to the social structure, where ex-slaves could receive basic education, reading, writing, and arithmetic. At the first rank of our independence, government focused on the expansion of the education system to truly benefit the population.
In 1980, the Lord spoke to me about beginning a school. And so I started the school this September.
This is Carol Hazel, principal of the Waterford Development Faith Basic School. She is one of the pioneers of early childhood education in Jamaica.
I started the school with 3 benches. The paint wasn't even dried. And this was at my home. And I remember clearly that I had to put some cardboard on the bench to prevent the paint from, messing the children's uniform. And I had 21 children for that first week.
Carol Hazel's story mirrors that of most early childhood institutions from Jamaica's infancy, back when they were more commonly known as basic schools. The first teaching guideline for children 4 to 6 years was developed in the 1970s and later revised in the 1980s as the Ministry of Education established an early childhood unit. With the growing need for knowledge, government has worked to establish proper regulations for early learning, taking a major step with the establishment of the Early Childhood Commission, ECC, in 2003. The ECC lays out regulations for adequate physical space and improved quality of learning through the training of teachers and curriculum revision. From early childhood to elementary learning, more space was created for the formal education of Jamaica's children, as by 1966, 40 primary schools were built to hold 16,800 students. Today, participation in early childhood and primary education in Jamaica is compulsory and free through the public system, with parents also having the option to educate their children in private institutions. Examinations at the primary level have changed rigorously since the British-modelled Common Entrance Test was replaced in 1999.
There are earlier exams at different stages, grade 4 literacy test and so on. And the GSAT remained the main form of examining kids who graduate from primary school. And as a way of placing students into the secondary school. There has been a shift in the curriculum, an important change. This is one of the recommendations from the 2004 task force, the National Standards Curriculum.
This shift became necessary to ensure children were developing critical and analytical skills. The primary exit profile PEP examinations later replaced GSAT in 2018. In the height of the COVID-19 pandemic in 2020, the Ministry of Education shifted learning online, broadcast content via television and radio, and distributed thousands of tablets and laptops to students. This served to accelerate the change already underway to increasingly connect education and technology in Jamaica. With the upward movement of Jamaica's early childhood and primary education, the drive of the government is to continue a corridor of mobilizing knowledge and spurring national development.
High school students aspire to further their education and pursue opportunities beyond the classroom. This next feature allows us to explore and see the benefits of the Sixth Form Pathways program.
Teacher chose him to do 3 subjects. He passed 2 and failed 1, get a 4. This is precisely why the ministry moved in this direction. We are cognizant that not every child will move at the same pace, and so pathways learning programs must be created for them.
Effective September 1, 2022, all students leaving 5th form at public high schools enroll in an additional 2 years of higher learning. This is done through the 6th Form Pathways program, an initiative of the Ministry of Education that's geared towards ensuring students receive the skills and competency development needed for today's advanced society. The program is also open to students who dropped out of school before completing 5th form once they are between the ages of 16 and 18. Having completed the Caribbean Secondary Examination Certificate at the end of 5th form or grade 11, students will be eligible for the program and must register at their current high school. Here's a look at the program in action.
Secondly, the infant mortality rate. How did that affect how many children the people want to have?
At Charlie Mount High, nestled in the hills of St. Catherine, an abandoned building was quickly retrofitted to accommodate the increased number of students due to the 6th Form Pathways program.
We have a large number of students applying for our 6th Form program. And so within the Pathway program, due to space constraints, we can only take a small number. We would want to take a lot more. And so those who are unable to join us and continue with us, we recommend them to other institutions.
140 students are currently enrolled in the program.
From grade 7 coming up, I've always leaned more to sciences, so it was quite easy when he came on to go into 6th form to select those subjects.
I was previously in Pathway 2 doing business subjects such as entrepreneurship and customer engagement. I have now matriculated to Pathway 1 by attaining all 5 CSEC subjects and is now doing all sciences. These would include agricultural science, environmental science, and computer science.
Desonja, who was previously in lower 6th form, was able to pursue an additional CSEC subject so she could qualify for the traditional Pathway 1. On Pathway 1, students pursue Caribbean Advanced Proficiency Examinations CAPE subjects at the diploma or associate's degree level. Pathway 2 is the technical route and includes a mandatory NVQJ skill. Pathway 3 allows students to get additional CSEC subjects or pursue a specialized skill.
The Pathway program brought new initiatives. It allows us to be able to assist some of our students who would have not done well at CSEC. This gives us a second opportunity, a second chance to look at our students, to give them the opportunity for them to get to understand themselves and to do well.
What about the word independence now? How does that come in? Somebody said independence. Good. So what I want you to do in your group now is to analyze the criticisms that have been put forward against the demographic transition model.
Students are guided by their 6th form coordinator so they can be properly placed.
I would have had persons in Pathway 2 that is now matriculated to Pathway 1 because they were given the opportunity with their 1 or 2 subjects to sit those and come again to do the CAPES at Pathway 1.
Charlemont stands ready to work and to continue the program, the 6th Form Pathway program with the Ministry of Education. Each year we graduate, or in our graduating cohort, we have over 250 students, and we would love to have at least 3/4 of that number continue with us.
Since September 1, 2022, the 6th Form Pathways program is offered at no cost to students. The government will pay $17,000 per student in secondary schools, $80,000 per student in private tertiary institutions, and $60,000 for students in public tertiary institutions. At the end of the program, students in high school will earn a National School Leaving Certificate, Level 2. Students who participate in the sixth form only program at tertiary institutions will receive the same certificate once they have completed the full 2 years.
In the future, I'd like to become a veterinary technician. The pathway that I'm on now, I'd excel in my science subjects because I'm in the science class. I would need more subjects to be accepted into the college of my dreams.
So my dream is to become a pharmacologist or something within the field of pharmacology. So I consider the sixth form pathway right now as a milestone in that, a journey. So it's paving the way for me to attain that dream.
The Wildlife Protection Act is a piece of legislation here in Jamaica. It was enacted in 1945 that tries to look at our animals or wildlife on the island of Jamaica and try to ensure that they are conserved to some degree and not overexploited. So they're also, as an island, we have a lot of unique species. And if we lose those species on the island, it's gone to the entire world. So that is also one of the reasons why we have this piece of legislation, to ensure that Jamaica can maintain its wildlife and preserve the wildlife for future generations. In the Jamaican context, being an island, being very small, some persons have never left the island before, and so Jamaica seems big, but Jamaica is really very small. We have a lot to lose. We have a lot of resources and we have a lot to lose. So we're encouraging the public not to over-harvest, not to go against the Wildlife Protection Act and take animals that are considered protected species. And if animals are in a vulnerable situation where you think they need assistance, we encourage persons to first contact NEPA at 754-7540 and ask for assistance, especially if those animals have the potential of doing harm or being dangerous.
Our program concludes for today, but be sure to join us again tomorrow for another lineup geared towards providing you with information on the government's policies and initiatives for building a better Jamaica. You may visit our website, jis.gov.jm, to rewatch this or to catch up on lots more. Until then, I'm Adrian Atkinson from all of us here at the GIS. Thank you so much for watching.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.